Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
We just had a great time with friends.
Yeah.
It was fun to be able to say we're spending time with friends.
Yes, we had a afternoon in our own home with two very close friends, and we didn't once have to worry about COVID or wearing masks because we're
vaccinated.
It was nice.
It was very nice. I really enjoyed it.
It was like the world is normal again. Back to normal.
You said the world?
The world. It felt like the world is back to normal.
No, the world inside of our house.
It was my illusion.
But set foot outside of the house, you don't know what you're going to get.
But it was very good. And to the couple that came over.
Yes.
Thanks for
we
coming
love you
over.
All.
Love you.
Yay. We love you. Yay. So. But this week's episode is not about that. It's about introductions. The things that happen when you introduce your spouse, your mate, your loved one to others.
Okay.
It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by Your Stance.
So I think I was getting ready to say I think I was the first one in our relationship to introduce you to my friends, but that's actually not the case.
It's not?
I met your brother. I didn't know he was
my brother early
I didn't know he was your brother at the time.
Oh, no. That's because that was not an introduction. I was not introducing you to him.
That's right. You weren't even there.
I wasn't there, so it doesn't count. Move on.
Okay. So then I think, but didn't I meet your
Eventually
friend?
you met him, like
for
face
real,
to face,
and
I introduced him.
Yes.
But you had already seen
I had already met him.
Yeah.
Just was terrified about who he might. I wasn't terrified about who he might be, but I gave away that I liked you.
Spilled the beans,
I sure
baby.
did. Because I just stared. I heard the last name and I turned around and stared. So he stared at me like, what just happened?
Yes.
But I think I met your friend though, because you had a friend.
Well, you met him shortly after that, officially.
So, okay. So I met him before you met my friends. I also met one of your friends.
Yes. But let's come at this in a different direction.
Why? I was going somewhere with that, but that's okay.
Let's go at this with nervousness because you're going to introduce your family members to a friend or vice versa. Is there nervousness in that?
Well, when I introduced you to some friends of mine, I didn't actually know everybody that was there. So there was one friend in particular that I definitely knew and her friends.
Right.
And my first thought when I saw all of them together, because it was my first time meeting some of them.
Oh, no.
No, my first thought was, oh, Tony can hold his own with this group. You can hold your own with this group.
And I could hold my own with that group.
Yes, you
although
could.
I was very, very, very different than that group.
Yes.
Very, very
well,
different.
I was very different than that group, too.
Yeah, I was more so.
Well, yeah, more so.
Yes.
But I also thought I wasn't nervous about bringing you there because I thought the one friend who really did know me, and she knew some of my exes.
Right.
So I was like, oh, she's going to definitely think I've upgraded for sure. So I thought no matter what she thought of you, she will say, he's better than the last.
It's funny that that evening was really funny because I was like, there's no way I'm going to find anything in common with anyone. And there was the one that her parents lived in the town
Next to you.
next to where I grew up.
Yep.
So we were able to talk all about that. We were able to talk about where our parents live now, which is still in New York, but it's
right.
at a certain. And I could talk in detail about the area and how it changed and all of that, and
Right.
so on and so forth, and tell stories about that area on how it used to be.
Right.
And even though she was quite younger than me, she did remember the days when it was completely different. So that was in common. And there was something else. Wasn't I supposed to cook something for this other woman? This
No.
No, I'm not talking about the bread. There was something else because she said, "Yeah." And I think they were supposed to come over the house, and yes. Oh, yes, I do remember because um this particular person uh didn't understand what real smoked ribs were, and we had a long discussion about it, and I told her that's what I do. She said, "Oh, well, we need to have a party at your house." And I was like,
We didn't do that though.
"No, we didn't." I was like, "Hey, Jill, such and such wants to come over so we can have a party," and you was like,
Nope.
"Nope." So it never happened, and she actually brought it up again and mentioned it to your closest friend in that group.
Well, the closest friend in the group did come over for a
Well,
barbecue
yeah,
once,
she did, yes,
but I didn't know the other people.
yeah,
So
but
I
we
was
was
like,
gonna have a
nope,
special barbecue with like just them.
nope.
Yeah,
I
you was
vetoed
like,
that.
yeah, you was, nope, not gonna happen. But I had no nervousness in that. Did you have nervousness in
No,
that?
I said I knew that that the person who really knew me in that group, no matter what you said or did, she would think you were better than the last because she had met the last.
Right.
So I had no nervousness at all.
Yeah. I remember when I introduced you to my sister.
Now, had I known what was happening when you
I,
introduced me to your sister, I would have been nervous. But
I was nervous.
well, tell the audience, tell the listeners why you were nervous.
Well,
And had I known, I would have been nervous, but I didn't know.
our longtime listeners know that in my past, before Jill, my picker was off. And I chose the wrong type of woman over and over again. But then I changed my ways and I found Jill. But before I totally committed to Jill, I was like, you know what? I never let my sister check out any of these women I was really interested in. I said to myself, so this time I'm going to. So my sister didn't know I was looking for her approval. And
She did
Jill,
before we left, though.
no,
No, before we left New York, she knew because you told her
afterwards that she said she did, but she didn't know. I didn't tell her because I wanted a, you know,
right,
honest opinion,
right,
not clouded like, oh, I need to check this chick out. I don't want her to think that way.
right.
But I'm sure she was either way. So I was nervous about that. I was.
And had I known that that's why I was meeting your sister, I would have been nervous too.
And you would have been on your P's and Q's, but I didn't want you to be on your P's and Q's. I wanted you to be.
Well, I couldn't be on my P's and Q's because your sister kept topping me off without my knowledge,
yes,
topping my drink off.
But I'm going to say something, Jill. I think I've said this to you before. But I was so unsure about my picks from the past. And I thought, you were the right one. And obviously you were. But if my sister said she's another nut, I'd have been out.
Oh, you've told me that before.
Yeah. We would have driven back
in silence.
No.
And I would have been like, why aren't you talking to me?
It wouldn't
what happened?
I'm smarter than that. It wouldn't have been in silence. It would have been everything as usual. But we would slowly drift apart.
Well, that's sad. I'm glad that didn't happen.
I'm glad it didn't happen too. I have a great wife now. So yes, I was nervous then.
Well, I'm glad I passed the test.
Were you nervous when I met your mother?
No, because my mother has never told me, "Don't go out with him." About anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
She told you, she said, she'll say to you, "Where were you last weekend?"
Well, I did leave on Friday and come back on Sunday. Quite a bit. But we don't have to go there.
Yeah, we were
Why are
already
you
there.
going
We're
there?
already
No,
there.
why did you have to go there?
It's about nervousness.
No, you're talking
Nervousness.
about introductions. That was not your introduction to
Part
my
of the
mother.
part of the introduction was you were coming over to my house on Friday and you wouldn't come back home
That
till
was not the
Sunday.
introduction. That is not how you met my mother. Different topic.
I remember the day I met your mother, and I remember you 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 were very upset with me about something.
I
but
remember why
but
too.
I see your eyes just getting like so big. She's like, "You better not tell. You better not tell. You better not tell." So I'm not going to tell.
Mm-hmm. Some things are best left unsaid.
Yes, that is in this case. Yes, you know, I'm the loose cannon, but this time I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm keeping my
Good.
mouth shut.
Good. Now, I was more nervous about you meeting my uncles because I didn't know what they would do. Because, they're kind of loose. They were loose cannons too. And I didn't know. And I never knew what happened when they just took somebody off and I couldn't go with you. So I was more nervous about the two of them, these gun toting tall uncles,
you know,
and they were very protective of me. So
yes.
I was more nervous about my uncles than my mother.
Were you nervous for me or nervous
I didn't know what would
yourself
happen.
or
Like, I didn't think they would go and shoot you or anything, but
they were
I
like,
didn't know what they would do.
so we're in Kentucky. We drove up to Kentucky. And we couldn't have been there any more than, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Right.
And
they were quick about it. Like, come on with us.
Come on with us, Tony. We're going for a ride.
And you remind the listeners that my uncles were both over 6 feet tall.
No, they're like 6'4", 6'5".
Bobby was 6'4".
Bobby was 6'4".
And Carlos was more like 6'1", 6'2".
Really?
Mm-hmm. Carlos was the shorter one.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yes. You're absolutely correct. And they were, big guys, not small guys. Like 275.
Yeah, and Carlos used to be a sniper and Secret Service. So, and they're both hunters. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't know what it means when they say, come with us.
So I went with them. I was not nervous. And actually, before we got out of the driveway, they started trying me.
They didn't waste time, did
they? They did not waste time. It was like as soon as the car doors shut and nobody else could hear, they both started. They started in on me. And they saw very quickly I could hold my own.
You could hold your own.
And then for the rest of the day, and I guess, from that point on.
Yeah, you were cool with them.
We were all good.
You were cool with
other.
them.
For saving face, I'm not going to tell you what happened in the car.
Well, I know what happened in the car.
I know, but
you're not telling listeners?
Yes, listeners, I'm going to hold that information back.
Were you scared?
No. I'm scared of you.
You were scared of me.
I'm scared of you now. If I told that information, what would happen? See? So I'm not telling that information. I'll be paying for it for years.
I would remind you from time to time. That is for sure. There's some things I just don't forget.
So yeah. What other times? I'm trying to think of other times where I was like afraid to it made me nervous to introduce someone. I know. I was nervous when I introduced you to my daughters.
Okay. I was nervous
I was
then.
nervous.
I was
about
nervous
that.
then. I absolutely was nervous then. Yes. Yes, I do. I definitely remember that day.
Yes.
Because the time that you first wanted to me to come, and it
That
would
was
have
not
been,
the right time.
yes,
You were
that was
correct.
definitely not the
It
right
was
time.
a
So we
family
waited
crisis
till
going on.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And
You were
so
right. That family crisis was not the right time
no,
to introduce.
no.
But when it was the right time, I was still nervous, and
I was nervous too.
yeah, because
Mainly because I hadn't been in that situation before. I'd never met someone's children before.
Yeah, yeah.
And at this time, your youngest was
Like 8,
she
19,
was
20.
almost 18.
Yeah,
Or she was 18. She was 18.
yeah, because she was
when
getting
I
ready
met
to
her.
go to college.
Well, she hadn't graduated yet when I met her though.
Yeah, getting ready to.
Yep. From high school. So
yeah,
I was nervous and it was Christmas too.
Yeah, I was nervous about that because I learned shortly after shortly after I got divorced from their mother. They're both the daughters are 8 years apart, I believe. 8 or 9 years, 9 years apart. So the oldest one was like a teenager, and she didn't want to hang with me much anymore. So I spent more time with the younger one. So after we got divorced, I would, pick up my daughter for visitation, and we go places and go to McDonald's, play on a playground, or go to parks, or different stuff, go to movies, type of things fathers do with their kids after a divorce. But this one occasion, we were at Burger King. I remember we're at Burger King. We're just eating. And this very attractive, tall woman sits down at the booth next to us and with her young son. And you know how kids get up on the back of the seat and they're playing around and, they're staring at you in the, at your booth. And all I say, he had a little truck. And I said, that's a nice truck. I have a truck just like that. A real one. Well, then her mother turns around and we start talking. And there was some connection. So I was getting ready to ask this woman for her number. My daughter was
she
put
the kibosh on that.
Oh,
didn't she?
Lord, she was not having it. She was looking at that woman and like, why are you talking to my daddy? And she started tugging on me. Come on, Dad. Come on. Let's go. And she was like 6 or 7 years old. Come on, let's go. And I had to look at the lady and I said, I'm sorry. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Because, we were both like, yeah, let's exchange numbers and all that. And So I remembered that. So after that, I try not to. Nah. So bringing you around, and I know I was really serious about you. So it was very important to me how they reacted towards you.
And that was before you introduced me to your sister. So it was before we were like, we hadn't been dating very long.
Right.
When I first met your daughters.
I was nervous about that.
I was too.
They did. They
were very nice to me.
They were very nice, but later I start getting questions.
Yes. Like, how old is she? Right? Wasn't that like the first question? How old is she?
Because I guess my oldest daughter was afraid that some gold digger was going to get their hands on me.
Well, that definitely wasn't me.
Some young gold digger, like somebody, like half my age or something, somebody in their 20s or something.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not a gold digger, nor was I in my 20s.
She's such and such age.
And I'm not a gold digger, right?
She never said gold digger, but she said yes. She used some slang. She says, yeah, because I can't let no young such and such get a hold of you. I said, no, she's not. No, 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 no. And I told her, I said, even I was very cautious because I was afraid I couldn't tell how old you were when I met you.
You asked me.
I did.
Well, eventually you asked me.
Eventually I did, but if you were too young, I would have stopped.
I understand that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have wanted to be like your daughter's age.
Yeah,
You know.
that wouldn't have worked. So yeah, I was nervous about that.
Yes. But I was old enough.
You were. I wasn't robbing the cradle.
And I had a job.
You had a job. That's right. Yep.
So yes, I would have to say out of everyone I've met from that you've introduced me to, I was most nervous about your daughters.
Yeah, I was nervous too because I did want them to like you.
Yes.
Yeah,
But that went well. And I even met your ex-wife at the same time.
Yeah.
And then later I met her sisters.
Yeah.
But everybody treated me well. Everybody treated me well.
Good. Oh, no. No. No, my ex sister-in-law.
Oh, she did not treat me well.
She did not treat you well.
Oh.
It took like 10 years before she finally started treating you better.
What? You actually think she treated me better at some point?
She still doesn't treat you better?
What are you talking about?
She's told you, she says, oh well, all right. We love you even though
Who are you? Wait, are we talking about the same person?
Yeah. That lives down in the country. You know, down in South Georgia, Middle Georgia.
I don't know who you're talking about. Who are
No,
you talking
you're
about?
thinking about my ex's friend. That's who you're thinking about.
No, I'm talking
about the one that
Did you just
that
you
wanted
said
to hit
sister-in-law.
ex sister-in-law. Ex sister-in-law. Ex. The one that wanted to scoop my brother up at Erica's wedding.
She never treated me badly. She never treated me badly.
Oh, not
to my face.
Not to your face.
Oh, so do tell. What story you got?
Not to your face. So it took several years, many years before she didn't think anybody should be with me except her sister. Period. She said, hey, you're my brother-in-law. That's why you'll hear her say, I don't care what anybody says, you still my brother-in-law.
Oh, she still says that.
That's right. She says that.
But she's never treated me badly to my face. So what story do you have?
I have no story at all.
Yes, you do.
I have no story at all.
Now, there's been a friend of an ex of your
and I don't know why
she does not like me.
And I don't know why she's that way because she doesn't like me either. I don't understand it. She doesn't like me either. So I don't get it. I don't get that one. I do not get that one. Because for real, she does not like me. That woman does not like me.
She likes me less.
But come on, give us some more. Give us some more times where it's, awkward or nervousness to introduce someone. Is it? Well,
sometimes you have been with me when, like, I've taken you to company functions.
Yeah.
And there have been people who you're like, ooh, he doesn't like you. That you've met.
Yes.
And so I think that's always weird. Like, I don't even want to introduce you to people that I don't like or who don't like me. Like, what's the point? But it seems like those are the very people who are like, who's and I am, and they'll like shake your hand or something. They'll introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't care who you are.
Oh, they just being nosy. They just want to know who I am. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all to that.
Okay.
No biggie. No biggie, baby. No biggie.
And some of my friends never even met you till the wedding. They're like, wait, you're getting married? To whom? I'll just come for the wedding.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
this guy I found in the
Yeah.
bookstore.
Yeah, I got several calls after our wedding of, because I think we've told our listeners that our wedding was quite small and intimate. We had like 40 people there.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, the people who were there, I guess they're like, oh, I went to Jill's wedding. Who did she marry? And they called me up.
Because they knew that, the last they talked to you, that's the last thing that you were going to do was get
Absolutely.
married again.
Yes, but never say never. Well, it's time for our second segment that we call
Give it a rest and a resolution.
Do you have a conclusion resolution?
Yes. If you're going to be nervous about an introduction, make sure the person that's making you nervous is worthy for you to be nervous. So what I'm saying is, don't give anyone more power than they deserve. So if it's someone that is upstanding and good and kind and they're always in your corner, they're doing the right things, yes, their opinion matters. But if you have this other friend, which we talked about in the last episode about frenemies, this friend that you had this love-hate relationship with, no, their opinion is not important at all. So don't give anybody too much power over you. So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I would agree with that. And I would add to that, you don't have to introduce your loved ones to everybody.
No, but there are certain people you do want to introduce them to, and you do want them to like them and or approve of them.
And if they don't, so what?
It can matter.
Some people
say
but
in a
some people might
relationship,
say that they don't like someone because they don't want you with someone.
yes,
Because they're jealous that you have a relationship with someone.
Yes.
I once had a friend, she apologized later, but I once had a friend that up and left after she met somebody I was dating. She like left town.
Yeah.
She didn't even live in the same town. She left. But she did apologize because she said later she was jealous that I was dating somebody and she wasn't.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
Advice.
Do you have any advice?
My advice is, I'm of the mindset that I will only introduce. Well, when I was introducing you to people, it was because I was serious about you at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you weren't looking particularly for
I wasn't looking for approval, just like to let them know.
This is my man. I got a man. This is my man.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. So my advice is, if introducing your news, boyfriend or whatever they are, to someone makes you nervous, then wait till you're really sure about them.
Yes, and my advice is, if you're the person being introduced to the family or friends, don't be nervous.
Easier said than done.
Don't be nervous.
But be yourself.
I remember I met one of your old boyfriends, or somebody was trying to be your boyfriend at the church. At the church. He took me to church. You don't remember? Well,
and what happened?
Oh, he did not like seeing me with you, and I had to tell him something.
You told him something? What'd you say?
I don't remember. It's not important.
Oh, well, that's a future episode.
But he had stopped. He stopped calling you after that.
Oh,
because he was the one that kept calling you acting like he was a friend.
Okay, I know
stuff.
who you're talking about. Yes. Okay.
Here in Georgia, not
yes.
I
know what you're talking about.
All right, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Jill.
we're way over.
Yes,
we still have to do one more segment.
Oh,
that we call. So, what do you think? What do you think? Because I'm right.
Because I'm right. All right, that number is 404-594-2247. Give us a holla.
Holla! Holla. All right. Well, it's well over time for us to wrap this up. You've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I am Anthony Cordova.
Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Zinke for the art, and to you two listeners.
Yes, listeners. And as usual, we love you all.
We do.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Jill. You sounded sincere.
I've been sincere.
Bye. Bye-bye.